Hey, train man, how you doing?
This is the Notch 6 online podcast.
Here we are
Notch 6 is
tonight
the
again.
podcast dedicated to O-Gate
Saturday,
trains. Whether you're collecting,
snowy night in
operating, or just getting
Cleveland.
started,
Well, I'm not
Notch 6 is
directly
your
in
home
Cleveland,
for
but
O-Gate
nonetheless.
trips, events and interviews.
I have the layer down
Derek Thomas.
of foam, sound deadening stuff, and I'm hoping that the silver will
whether you're collecting, operating,
conduct like an antenna for me. I am going to paint it, but if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I'm listening to my favorite O-Gauge podcast, Notch 6. I want to thank my friend Derek Thomas for allowing me to use Notch 6 in the background of my videos sometimes. And if you have not checked out the podcast, I strongly urge you to. You can access it on iTunes, the internet, and now it's on YouTube as well. It's just a great show to listen to while you're doing work or while you're running your trains. You know, because you got to keep one eye on what you're doing, you know, your eyes. But it's nice to have something in the background, and not all the time do you want, you know, music going. And you'll learn a lot of facts. I've learned a lot about O-Gauge history. He's had several guests like Bruce Greenberg, Mike Wolf. They do annual catalog reviews with Mike Reagan from Lionel, and how I believe it's, I don't know, but the head guy from MTH beside Mike comes and they review page by page the catalogs, and it's great to just great stuff. Now tonight I'm listening to an interview with Steve Brenneson, the inventor of raw switches, and it in itself is a fascinating story about how young he was when he started making those fabulous raw switches that we all love, and you know, how he turned the company into what it is today. So we're going to get to painting here. I might prime out some of the wood areas.
Excursion before where they take you into the park before the park ever opens that morning.
I mean, it'll never be seen, I don't believe, but if I have some extra paint. And what we're going to do here is tape this off so we don't have any more foam falling to the floor and stuff after this. I've got the same exact kind of tape.
And this is really a great family event. If your family likes Walt Disney,
you know, to mark,
or likes Disney history, this is putting
get this, you know, stuff under control so it doesn't always be bothering me. And day by day here, we're gonna watch the track go down and finally run a train. Amen. Wow, how fun would that be?
What else is going on? Something cool that we just found out about tonight.
Oh yeah.
I like to watch cool new product videos.
A friend of mine on the internet,
page on YouTube, and
Tommy Z Trains. Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he has a fascinating YouTube channel as well. I mean, he's just, he's outrageous. He runs trains that pulls 150 cars at once, and he knows a lot about MTH and Lionel. I mean, he's just a vast source of wisdom on the subject of O-Gauge trains, and I'm very glad that he befriended me. And you know, we talk, you know, because he says he's a looper, which means, you know, we like just to have a big loop and run around, have several of them, you know, if you have a bigger staff place to work with. And you know what, I told him too, you know, I'm a looper myself, you know. And if you think about it, most guys are. It just depends on how big your loop is. So we have fun with that, you know, because we're loopers. We're all loopers. The main thing is to have fun, stay out of trouble, don't spend too much money on the trains, or you'll be thrown out in the snow by your wife. But work hard, yes, and reward yourself with that train, or, you know, finish that project that you've always wanted to do. Start it, finish it. This is only, you know, like my practice layout. All my other layouts have been either Carpet Central, or at one time I did have a 4x8 sheet running with a loop, one loop, and I was repairing a lot of trains at that time, and I just, you know, I needed to run them, you know, for like hours, or like an hour after I fixed them, because I want to make sure that if I repair your train, that if something's going to fall off, it falls off at my house, so I can fix it still. You know, or a new problem arises, you know, like I said, I do offer Lionel repair on pre-war, post-war, and MPC trains. I am beginning to get some of the knowledge to be able to be confident to fix the new trains with all the electronics, but like I said, I'm in the beginning phases of that, but I do offer repair service for all other trains, you know, that are conventional. That was the purpose of building this layout also, was to become familiar with the whole DCS system, TMCC, Legacy, and, you know, now we're going to get them set up, and if, you know, if you understand the system, you have a much better chance of understanding what can go wrong with the train. So once again, I would like to thank my friend Tommy Z. Check out his channel. He's got like 1,000 subscribers. I mean, but just amazing things he makes these trains do. You would never think that the train is capable of the magnitudes of feats he pulls off. I mean, I just wonder what's next with him. You know, he has to be approaching the Guinness Book of World Records of the longest train to be pulled by one steam engine. You know, it's like how many cars can you pull with a Challenger? You know. He's just off the hook, man, and he's a great guy. Beside all that, you won't meet a nicer person. So, Tommy, tonight that little ditty's dedicated to you, and once again, I want to say, give Notch 6 a listen. You know, like right now, there's Steve Brennison from Ross Switches, you know, doing an interview with him. And he tells him, you know, he started when he was 14 years old. He didn't even have a driver's license yet. But his girlfriend would drive him around to the train shows so he could sell these switches that people were starting to ask him to make. He made them for himself originally, but then, you know, everyone who saw him says, hey, can you make me a pair? And it's a true American success story, and it's nice to listen to it. And once again, I want to say, we are all loopers. Just depends on how big your loop is. Alright, guys. I'm going to get to painting here so I can get something done today. God bless. This is Kenny at Lionel for Less. Subscribe if you feel like it. I will be doing a lot of how-to maintenance videos on the pre-war and post-war trains after this layout thing is accomplished here. And don't forget to check out our continuing Heritage series, where I take a particular piece that Lionel produced and I, you know, gather some data on it and tell the story of it, of its history a little bit. And you know, that's where I want to get comments and things generated. You know, I love to talk. I used to be a musician all my life. Now I drive truck. But, you know, I'm very familiar with jabbering with people, as you guys can probably tell by now. Thanks a lot. Thanks for tuning in. Happy railroading.